Howdy YouTube, this is Steven, and I'm back with another news article. And this article, this was actually published about a little over a year ago. Um, because at first, when I first found it, I was like, "Uh oh, I got some dirt. I got some," but I do have some dirt per se, but it's outdated though. It's outdated dirt. Like everyone probably know about this by now. But nevertheless, I wanted to make a video about it and give my thoughts and opinions on the situation. So the title of this article is Utada Hikaru's husband is unemployed and living off her money. And this was published on arama.japan.com. So right off, just based on the title, I'm like, what? Like, I guess we got another case of, you know, taking my money back. Well, we should have another case of taking my money back. That song that Utada did on the album, This Is the One? Yeah. So it looked like Utada might have another crumb bum scrub on her hands. She might. But let's see what this is about. All right. Quote unquote, just like expected, he's just a gigolo, comes a storm of sarcastic laughter. Suspicious are suspicions towards Utada Hikaru's Italian husband's news of an unemployment. All right. So as you guys, especially the Utada Tots know, Utada married an Italian man in Italy, you know. And she also has a child by this man too, So, Utada done got her swirl on and got herself a Eurasian baby. So, congratulations on that, Utada. But let's see what else this article's saying. Let's see. The July 23rd web version of Jose Jishin is reporting that Francesco Caliano, who married Utada Hikaru in May of last year. Well, they say this year, but technically it was last year because this article is a year old. So I'll say what the article says. In May of this year, had already lost his job as a bartender at the time of the wedding ceremony. All right, so that was the Utada's first mistake from the get-go, was marrying a bartender. You should be marrying at least the dude who owns the bar, Utada. I'll tell you, I gotta give Utada some lessons on being a gold digging hoochie. All right, but on to the next. Even though Utada urged the press to refrain from releasing information about the wedding at the private ceremony, the press came out in full force. Wow, Utada's getting press coverage in Italy? Uh-oh. You might need to try and capitalize off of that, Utada. Try and, do a little something with that. Let's see. The media of her hometown attacked her for the end result, saying, quote unquote, Utada didn't accept everyone. Uh-oh. On her side, a complete guard against the mass media was put up, but after that, a surprising development was revealed. All right, let's see, what was revealed. Let's see. According to the article, Francesco worked as a bartender at the hotel, but retired from the job without taking proper time off for the wedding. For now, it seems like he has a plan to open a Japanese restaurant in London. So I'm guessing once he, hit the lottery with Utada, he was like, bump that job, bump the bartending job. Shoot, got my meal ticket right here. A Japanese pop superstar. All right, quote unquote. All right. Well, next, quote unquote, just by it being reported to the media in her hometown that a normal young man marries a Japanese superstar, the qualitative differences between them is evident. Uh-oh. Qualitative differences. Shouldn't be quantitative differences, though. But I guess it's both qualitative differences and quantitative differences. Because the money thing would be the quantitative, and then the qualitative would be the dude being a normal dude and Utada being a megastar. All right, but next. On the net, the reception of the news of his unemployment includes statements of doubt about her spouse, such as, quote unquote, he could have coordinated his time off with the wedding ceremony. That is true. He could have done. He could have did that, but is he really? Yeah. And hey, this is like a. If this was the other way around, this would be like a Cinderella story, and we'd be like, hey, like do you, girl? Like, do you? Shoot, bump that job. Right. Next, quote unquote, just as was expected, they're living a gigolo lifestyle. So, someone actually wrote that. So I guess some people saying that Utada and her boo, they live in a gigolo lifestyle where she's like paying him money. He's like, I guess, doing freaky nasty things that Utada wants. Okay, I hope she's getting her money's worth if that's the case. Right, next, quote unquote, wasn't Utada his main source of income? And this all comes from the entertainment writer, and these were like comments that people were making. So that's gotta suck to have people commenting on your situation. People you don't even know commenting on your situation with your spouse. So yeah, that sucks. But hey, what's one more person, right? So I'm gonna get my comments, as I go and after I finish reading this article. But on to the next. Also in the issue of Jose Jishin, sold on the 15th, it was stated that the new residence that they are both living in has a monthly rent of 450,000 yen. And that roughly translates to about 4,400 US dollars or 2,600 pounds. To the songstress, this is but a modest new marriage lifestyle. But with the cost of opening a restaurant, it is probably valid to think that Utada's finances will be the main source of funding for that as well. And I mean, if this restaurant does go well, then he could then it'll be a good thing for both of them. You know, if it does go well. But the restaurant business is a tough business. Like many celebrities have opened restaurants and had to have closed them down because like the food business and the restaurant business, that's a tough business. Like it's easy to enter it, but it's hard to like survive and thrive in it. You know, and it looked like she's paying for everything so far. You know, so this dude so far he done really hit the lottery. Like shoot, this is a come up for him. All right, next, quote unquote, her ex-husband Kiriya Kazuaki was not only a movie director and producer, but he is also a celebrity who inherited pachinko business from his family. What is pachinko? Is that like a game or something? Hmm. It has been stated that the reason for their divorce was, quote unquote, a lack of communication. But because the status of her current spouse is, quote unquote, down and out, it is being said within the entertainment world that this is a marriage being led solely by Utada. Well, Utada does have the money, so usually the person with the money is able to kind of make demands here and there and say things, how things should go. Like, hey, you got the money, to pay for it and do it. All right. But yeah, it looks like her previous husband seemed to have more going for himself. And also it sounds like he was Japanese too, and that may be kind of like a sort of like an issue too, because it's like, okay, you went outside of the community, you went outside of the culture, you went outside of the race for this dude who ain't even about anything. So I think some Japanese people may be feeling a certain way about that, and maybe feeling, slighted by that. It's like, I know in the United States it's like, as far as like Asian women and Caucasian men, like that, like 50%, I think, of, I want to get the statistic right, and I'm not sure about it, but I think it's something along the lines of like 50% of Asian women within the United States marry outside of their race. And also, I think a lot of them marry Caucasian men. And that may be an issue too, with why people are kind of going in on Utada. Because it's like, okay, like, if this was a come up for you, then people could probably understand that a little bit better. But this was like a step down for you, Utada. So people are like, really? You went outside the community, you went outside the race, the culture to step down? Like, really? So I think that's it. And being in interracial relationships can be difficult. And that's one of the reasons why, because people feel like if you are in an interracial relationship, then this person needs to really be about something, because you're going to get so much flack and so much drama from the community, you know? But I guess that's another video for another day. Let me just get back to this article and close this article out. Here we go. Let's see. It is also being said that just like Ayumi Hamasaki, who has experienced various trials in love, that she, Utada, is treating her husband like a pet. Oh, ouch. I guess some people saying, like, I guess this is like a boy toy, maybe. You know, ouch. Let's see. Without being concerned with such opinions, the couple spent last month in New York. However, surely there are worries about whether their business or lifestyle will continue as planned. And that's the end of the article, you guys. So, yeah, some very interesting stuff here, and very, biting, very scathing, like, I don't know this dude, from a bucket of paint, so I can't really say if he's really if he's gold digging or whatever. But I feel like Utada should know by now. Like, Utada even made a song about this situation. Taking my money back. She went on and on in that song about how she did kind of support a dude and try to hold a dude down, but ultimately it didn't work out, and he was just like using her, while she was trying to hold him down and keep him, together and sound and safe and stuff, you know. But if that's what Utada wants, then that's what Utada should do. However, I don't think that's what Utada should do. Like, if she wanted, then go ahead and do it. But I really don't think she should do it, though, because it's just like Utada. She has a lot of options. Like, she could have just married like a football player or a basketball player, a soccer player. I think a soccer player would work for Utada. And also the interracial aspect of this relationship is like, again, really, you left Japanese men for this dude who ain't even about anything, who can't really even offer you anything, and that's probably a lot more issues just within that situation right there. But I don't think I should get into that, because that'll create a whole nother video, and really, it might not be my place, to start going in that direction. But, I saw in the comments section of aramajapan.com, like, the Utada tots were defending Utada and saying she can do whatever she wants, Hey, it's the 21st century. And while I do agree that she can do whatever she wants because it's her money and it's her life, I don't think she should be doing this. I feel like this is ultimately just going to end not so well for Utada, unless she just wants to, like, she wants to be in the provider role, I guess, then she should do it, you know. Also, one thing that I noticed in this article is that she said, or they said, or the author said, whoever, that her previous husband, like, the reason for the divorce was a lack of communication. And that made me think of the song Utada sings called You Make Me Want to Be a Man. For some reason, that song popped into my head. So I'm like, okay, maybe that song was about him, you know. But I'm like, dang, Utada, like, don't get a sex change, just because this dude done did you wrong, to do not get a sex change, Utada, you know. This dude did you that wrong that you want to get a sex change now, really? But overall, to sum it up, I don't think Utada should do this. She should have just, this should have been like, a drive-by for Utada. Like, she should have just, went in, hit it and quit it, and just moved on to the next. But now she has a child by him, so it ain't like, once you have a child by someone, you guys are, tied together for life, So she can't just move on now at this point, She can get a divorce and things like that, but she's still going to be connected with this dude, So yeah, I don't think she should have really pursued this relationship, but at this point now, she can't really, like, she's in it now. Once she had the kid, she is in it, Marriage or not, once you have the kid, you're in it. So I hope that this restaurant does work out, because then he would be able to be generating some income from the restaurant and would be able to have something of his own and also feel like he is contributing to the relationship. Because if he does not feel like he is contributing to the relationship, then he is probably going to wind up cheating on Utada. And, Utada don't need to be making any more songs about being cheated on, But I said all I have to say for the time being, you guys. So thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Sorry. Your feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next news article analysis, adios and goodbye for now.